Hello, my name is John Rakowski, and my presentation is on Apollo 13, how mistakes of the past changed the future. I've been interested in the space program since Apollo 10, and my dad worked on it, and I was able to get some nice pictures and other nice memorabilia from the astronauts and all. Uh, Apollo 13's problems began with Apollo 10. Oxygen tank number 2, when it was removed from Apollo 10, was dropped 2 inches. At the time, it was not thought to be a problem, and calculations showed it wouldn't. However, the calculations were in error. Uh, After the improper removal of the tank and all, at which point everybody thought that everything was okay at this point, the tank would now be tested and such, the normal testing procedures and such that they would do with an oxygen tank before placing into Apollo 13. Uh, the old tanks were designed to pass 28 volts through the thermostatic switch on the heating unit. The new unit's 65 volts. Somebody obviously didn't check and passed 65 volts through a 28 volt circuit, and that's not good. Here's a little bit more detail on the circuit. You can see the thermostat. You can see some of the wires associated with it. Those wires were damaged by the higher voltage that was passed through them. Uh, The test results were checked. They were run twice. They were checked. They didn't make any sense, and somebody just figured that, oh well, something must be wrong with the test equipment or whatever. So we think that everything's okay with the tank, not realizing it had been damaged already. Okay, now with the tank in place, Apollo 13 took off. Only problem experienced during takeoff was that on stage number 2, there was one of the engines, one of the 5 engines, had a problem, so they cut it off, burned the other 4 engines for a little longer. The astronauts, shortly before the problems they had with Apollo 13, did a chat with the home audience and all, which is, typical. They have a couple of these while they're in space. They took some questions, talked about the spacecraft, which, of course, this is new to a lot of people, and also it was very exciting. Uh, when they went to do the stir of oxygen tank number 2, which is required because uh, particles can settle in the tank and such. When the charge passed through the wires, went on fire and exploded. One of the things that they had to do was that the air filter cartridges uh, uh, they didn't fit between the command module and the lunar module, so they had to come up with a solution to purify the air so that they weren't breathing carbon dioxide. The lunar module is normally used to land on the moon. It's 2 parts. The top part is where the astronauts and a lot of their equipment is. The bottom part is where the rockets and some of the rockets and landing equipment for landing on the moon are. Okay, when the problem occurred, the command module had to be shut down. We had to move to the lunar module. This required moving a lot of items, transferring computer programs from one computer to the other. Successfully, that was accomplished. Now, NASA, through hard work, came up with a startup procedure for the command module because they had shut the power off on it to conserve power. They had to bring the power back. Too fast would not work. You'd be using too much electricity, and also a procedure was developed. Everybody worked together, and the procedure was executed, and the astronauts were now in condition to come home. Okay. This is the command module. The reason I show this picture here is because it was not known if during the explosion the heat shield on the bottom of the command module had been damaged. Had that been damaged, the instrument poisonous gas and such would have leaked into the command module. Now here's some pictures of the service module as the command module leaves, and we can see the extensive damage that was done. That was the reason for the concern with the heat shield. Okay, now here we go. We're checking it out. Hopefully that heat shield holds. And the next thing that will happen is that the parachutes will be coming out and astronauts will be relaxing in the ocean. Okay, and here we go. We've made it through. The heat shield held, and we're floating down to the Atlantic Ocean. Everybody looks good. Nice to be warm again. It was pretty cold up there. Okay, there we go. There's the frogmen from the aircraft carrier, and they're helping the astronauts out onto the raft, and they're just glad to be home. And we could see that their spacecraft's in pretty good condition and all. So through a lot of hard work. Okay, and now here they finally get a chance to meet the president and all, and so as we would say, so this is what it takes to meet the president. So this is pretty cool and such, and so many people worked hard to save their lives, and everyone's here today because of it.